Councillor Kyle.
Can I go ahead, Presiding Officer?
Yes, Councillor Catherine. Casey, Councillor Casey, your hand is up. Can you please lower your hand? It's disturbing me. Councillor Kyle.
Okay, thank you, Presiding Officer. It is uncalled for that the further extensions are submitted to Council without rational reasons, the further extensions. The report did not attach the prescribed skills, expertise, competencies, qualifications that is claimed that Mr. Rajendra Pillay possess. This is only known to the city manager and not to Council. Council should not be made to make an informed decision based on incomplete information. Mr. Pillay has acted for a period of 3 months from the 1st of March 2020 to the 31st of May 2020. If Mr. Pillay has continued to act in this position without the approval of Council, his acting arrangement in this position is, however, irregular. There is no copy of a letter from the city to the MEC of Kokta in the Gauteng province provided to Council to apply for a further extension as per section 56(1)(c) of the Municipal Systems Act number 32 of 2000. We do not support a further extension of this appointment. Therefore, given the reasons above, the DA rejects this report. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kyle. Councillor Mabunda, I'm told you are speaking on J. So we're going to MMC Matongo now. MMC Matongo on E.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think we must clarify firstly the status of the recruitment. If you look at the items that had been withdrawn, grass would have been one of those because of some technical problems that the executive thought we should clean up the report and make sure that we provide a comprehensive report to Council as it relates to the recruitment and selection process of the proposed candidate. So as far as the process is concerned as to where are we are almost at the tail end of the process. But when we processed the report at the Mayoral Committee, we thought, after having processed it, we thought, let's withdraw it and make sure that additional information that makes it easy for councillors to make a decision on the appointment of the group head for grass is available. So as it relates to the process, that's how far we are. We're hoping that the report will be cleaned up and presented at the next council meeting. As it relates to the CV of Mr. Rajendra Pillay, Mr. Rajendra Pillay is a Section 56 employee of the city. It is this very same the council that made the appointment on the basis of the skills, qualifications, and competencies of Mr. Pillay. He is a highly qualified person. He is the group head for governance in the city. I think in future we should then maybe as a standard when we present these extensions, then include the CVs of the various people. It has not been done previously, but if councillors are saying when we extend the acting arrangements, also include the necessary CV of the person or the profile, we can do that going forward. As it relates to the letter to the MEC, I think that matter has been clarified from time and again to say the section that Councillor Kelle has referred to has been declared unconstitutional by the Constitutional Court. We are only we are advised as a matter of courtesy to write to the MEC. It's not compulsory like before when we use ourselves to ask where is the letter to the MEC. That section has been declared invalid by the Constitutional Court. So we would really implore councillors to support the item and extend the active arrangements for grass with the hope that in the next council meeting we'll then present a report as it relates to the appointment of the candidate that has been recommended. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, MMC Matongo. Councillors, the recommendations on 2E are on page 2E.3. Is the item agreed to?
No.
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 Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
No. Still no.
Agreed.
Not agreed. Not agreed. Not agreed.
Agreed.
No.
No.
This is ridiculous.
Agreed. No.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
Please mute. Can I get an indication from the AIC? AIC whip.
Madam Speaker, then we agree with the item.
AIC agrees. Al-Jama.
Agreed.
Councillor Mpole, please mute.
Agreed.
Thank you. Patriotic Alliance. Councillor Sheline Fumbanda.
The Patriotic Alliance agrees, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Cope.
COPE agrees, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Freedom Fund Plus.
Madam Speaker,
Freedom
no.
Fund Plus.
No, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Dilange. UTM.
Agreed, Madam Speaker.
UTM agrees, yes. ACDP.
Madam Speaker, ICDP support.
Thank you. IFP. IFP.
Agrees.
IFP agrees.
Madam Speaker, we don't
Democratic
see the
Alliance.
faces and we can't hear. No faces, no agreement.
Yeah, man, these ANC people, man.
We didn't see yours.
Councillors, with the agreeing and the disagreements, I think the whips will assist us, because the reason why well, I'm not even looking at the faces, it is because if I heard you correctly, I think it was Councillor Khatebe who emphasized it, that if we have to vote, it means we will have to do the roll call if we have to vote. So from the look of things here, because there are parties that are agreeing and parties that are not agreeing, we might have to do the roll call, vote for the item.
Madam Speaker, Councillor De Lange here.
Yes, Councillor Dilan.
Thank you. No, Speaker, I just thought that the party whips, there was so much interference that we couldn't hear properly from the party whips, and at least the party whip can then at least put on their video and then to put their vote in according to their caucus numbers that we agreed to an hour and a half ago. So that's all I'm asking. There was so much interference. Can the party whips just show their faces and say yes or no? Then at least we can see that they are presenting their specific caucus. Thank you.
Okay. All right. If I hear you correctly, Councillor Dilanga, the party whips will talk based on the previous numbers, on the numbers that we have agreed upon once the other councillors were still not in the meeting. So the party will be speaking on behalf of those numbers that were given for the quorum.
That's what we did last time, Madam Speaker.
All right, Chief Whip, you want to come in?
And I thought Councillor Khatebe explained it well. To see what we have done, we went through an introduction in a system that we are the whips. Then when we go to items, the item, what we do, we check the numbers that are there before we start with an item. Then we utilize the numbers that are there with an understanding of who are the officials, so that we balance it correctly. Then the whips of parties would give in their votes. Their votes would be determined by what we saw when we started the item. We started an item at 240. As the members when the item started, we use 240 as a base for us to be able to deal with that approval setup. So that was the agreement reached.
I understand that, Madam Speaker. I understand that completely.
Can we get the results according to what we agreed for from the beginning?
Okay, we were not done with the agreeing on the item, on the recommendations. We were on the Freedom Fund Plus said no, UTM said
UTM agreed with the item.
okay. ACDP? ACDP?
Speaker, the ACDP supported the item.
Oh, sorry. Okay, IFP?
IFP, Madam Speaker, support the item.
Thank you. Democratic Alliance?
The Democratic Alliance do not support this item.
EFF?
Thank you, Speaker. The EFF does not support the item.
Okay. ANC?
ANC supports the item.
Okay. Can you allow us to consolidate the for and against, please?
Speaker. Speaker.
We are consolidating. Oh, Councillor Mkonto, are you speaking? You're not speaking. Okay, Chief Whip, are you speaking?
Yes, now as the chief whip of the ANC, because I want us to understand this thing clearly, because we'll mess it up when we don't understand. I think the agreement of the council when we started, and we must be clear about it, is that we said when we opened because the numbers must be able to meet up the numbers that makes council to start, which is a correct number. That's what also you gave. But we go to items. Council before that item must consider the numbers of people that are there. Then we're able to close on the numbers that are there. I think a fault has happened there. We didn't follow what we have agreed in this meeting. So you close on that item. Then when it's 240, that I was making an example. It would be 240 on an item, not 240 on an opening that we started with. Because then we're confusing the agreement made, because the agreement said per item will take up the number that is there. That's what we have been doing from previous. When the number is down, it says 90, we know that we can't continue because council doesn't correct the numbers used, it's less than the correct numbers.
One like that, it takes 3.
That's not true.
Speaker, Councillor De Lange, unfortunately, I can't seem to raise my hand. I agree with Councillor Mukhasi. When we started this item, there was 240 panelists. All of a sudden now there's 242. So we must, before we start an item, because you can't not be part of a meeting, and then all of a sudden you come in when we are doing the recon on the votes. So there was 240. Now, if you take the opposition, it's 227. If 227 minus 240 gives you 113 no and 127 yes.
Yeah, councillors, can you please also assist the work of the speaker? Because what Councillor Khatebe said, or what Councillor Khatebe emphasized on what the speaker was saying, the chief whip was saying, was that we counted those numbers for the starting of council and the determination of the quorum in the starting of council. And that when we have to vote, we will have to determine the number of councillors. You are making noise. The number of councillors and call those councillors. So I'm a bit confused now. If the whips can assist me. And the separation of the participants, of the councillors from officials, will be done before the item. So I guess we had not anticipated that this item will be voted for. And we did not do that before this item was called. So can you assist me there?
Speaker?
Chief Whip.
As Councillor De Lange said, when we started with the item, there were 240 people. That's the number that determines. The other 2 came late after the item has been spoken to. So the number that we must use, that Councillor De Lange is correct, is 240.
Speaker, just Councillor Lange here, it's a very easy mathematical equation. If the opposition parties are still all attending, DA, VF Plus and EFF, we were 127 after apologies was given officially. So if you take 240 when we started this item and you minus 127. It gives you 113. So that means this item does not pass. 127 said no, and 113 said yes. If there was any officials part of the 240, then we must just determine how many officials there were part of that 240. But still, it makes sense if you look at the numbers for this specific item. But on the next item, as soon as before the acting legal secretary reads it in, they must say there is so many participants, and then the officials must be out of the participants' lobby. Then we've got the number for the next item. But for this item, it's easy. It's 240 minus 127. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Delange. Yes, we're working on 240, which was at the beginning. And we did not do the checking before this. So 127, 127 is a no. Okay, 127, no. 113 is a yes.
Presiding
Therefore,
officer.
Yes, Councillor.
It's Councillor Not. We only had 225 councillors online at the beginning, so it'll be 225 minus that amount. It's not 240.
Speaker, I also align myself with Councillor Not. I don't know where does the 240 comes from. Maybe we must be clarified on that one. The last time I checked, we had 224, and then Councillor Van Beek joined us, and there was one councillor from from EFF who was going to come in. That cannot be 240.
Okay, councillors, can I call the numbers as per the beginning of the meeting?
Sure.
So that we can add them up, because I have them, I wrote them. I so that I'm not confused. AIC, we had 3 when we started. Al-Jama, we had 1. PA, we had 1. COPE, we had 1. Freedom Front Plus, we had 1. UDM, we had 1. ACDP had not yet connected at the time. IFP, we had 3. DA, we had 97. EFF, we had 28. And 1 had not yet connected, so we had 28. ANC, we had 89. So can we add up?
Madam Speaker, Councillor Delange here, that is correct. That's where the 225 comes
Speaker,
from.
I've raised my hand, and Councillor Delange is speaking again.
No, sorry, I can't raise my hand on my side for some reason. That's
Can
a
I
bit of a
please be
problem.
noted, Speaker? Can I please be noted? Speaker, let me assist you. It's Councillor Hatebe here. We've made a mistake. When you called for a roll call, there was AIC 3, Al-Jama 1, COPE 1. PA did not respond. FF Plus said 1, UDM 1. ACDP, they had not logged in also at that time. IFP had 2 leave of absence, and then there were 3 present. DA had 4 absent, 97 present. EFF, we had 1 absent, 1 was still have to look in with 28. NC had 89. Then if you add together 89, 28, 97, 3 plus these 4 of COPE, FF plus and UTM plus the 3 of AIC, it gives you 224, which is what we used when we opened for council sitting. Now, I've said earlier on when I was referring to what Councillor Mokgase was saying, that every time we go into a voting process or when we are closing and then we're about to vote, we have to look at the number of participants that are in council, which is why Councillor Mokgase and Councillor Dilange were speaking about the 240, just to correct Councillor Not and Councillor Not Edge, that the 240 that we are using, it's the number of participants that was there when we started on the item. That is why you'll be using the 240, and then you said 240 minus 127 of the no's, which is the DA, the EFF, and the FF plus. Then you'll be left with whatever that you are left in. That means the item falls off. If we do not agree on that one, then that's as the EFF, we're calling for the division of the House. Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor De Lange,
Madam Speaker, I had my hand, I raised my hand. Madam Speaker, I just need to.
I think,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just need to clarify because I was online, but I was not made a panelist at the time, hence I could not respond. So, if I will not be counted in, then we need to review or relook at how this is going to work.
Okay, councillors.
Madam Speaker, noted.
Councillors, I don't want us to delay this process. And even if we minus the PA, because the ACDP had the same problem of struggling in terms of connection. So it means on the okay, so we just doing the numbers. We know that the fall off and that, but we want to be precise with the numbers as per people that we called that were present at the beginning.
Speaker, Councillor De Lange, can I come in? Speaker? Speaker, am I recognized?
Oh, Councillor Dinange, our hands are up, so you can't always take advantage that you don't have a hand. It can't be.
Councillor, no, how must I speak, Councillor?
But there are other hands that are up. Can those be recognized as well, please?
Up for God knows how long.
We all agreeing that at the beginning of the meeting, we were 224 when we started the meeting. And then out of the 224, 126 is a no. And 98 is a yes. Therefore, the item does not proceed.
Yes, Speaker, that is why my hand is up.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker.
Madam
Thank you.
Speaker, my hand is up. Can I be noted, please? Is Councillor Nontenja?